Hey Rebel Rouser, I'm Alan Voivod and this is Star Wars 7x7. Today we're going to talk about two more commercials that have come out for Solo: A Star Wars Story. One of them entitled Crew that appears on the Star Wars YouTube channel, and another one that does not appear on the Star Wars YouTube channel, but I managed to find it by, well, not Googling. Is it YouTubing? You wouldn't call it YouTubing for YouTube search, but that one doesn't have a name. You might as well just call it Rio because it's the first time we actually hear Jon Favreau as Rio Durant saying, "Whoa, is that a Wookiee?" And that's probably the most notable thing about that whole commercial. The other things that we see in there include all of them walking together. So we've been piecing little bits of things together with Han and Lando and L3 and Tobias and Kira and Chewie walking in different parts of different scenes. And so now we see all six of them together, and this is the scene where they've gone to recruit Lando for somebody who has a ship for whatever job that they need to pull at the particular time. So we actually get to see the six of them all walking together. You know, oh, they're walking together. Oh, I mean, all right. A small bit of excitement. What I think is possibly more exciting about that particular commercial is the fact that you get to see Han running into the cockpit of the Falcon and making a rather athletic leap into the pilot's seat. And I know we've seen Han, crawling all over the convex, and he's been driving his land speeder on Corellia. So there's been action things that he's been involved in, but that was sort of a more dynamic, like, hey, let's get him running around situation than we haven't seen anything like that yet. And I don't know, it was exciting to see him jumping into the pilot's seat. So I thought that was pretty cool, actually. So good on you, Alden, for that one. It's the kind of dynamism that we need to see from anyone playing Han Solo, I would say. And the other thing that's kind of notable about that commercial is that you hear Alden Ehrenreich saying Han Solo, like introducing himself as Han Solo, and you also hear Donald Glover saying Lando Calrissian. And just for pronunciation's sake, I know we have a lot of fun with pronunciation on the podcast here, but one of the things that seems pretty easy is if a character pronounces their name in a certain way, then that's the name that you got to go with. Like, it's not, Han, for example, when you hear C-3PO going, he's saying Han. It's Han because that's how Han says it, right? So hearing them say their names, I don't know, that's always been a special thing to me. And then for the official crew spot, I'm saying official because it's on the Star Wars YouTube channel. It's not like the other one isn't official. I mean, it's just not on the Star Wars YouTube channel yet. But this crew spot, that one seems to have a little bit more of a focus on the relationships, of course, between Han and everybody else, particularly with Chewie. I like the moments that they have in this commercial with the two of them, where they're in the cockpit of the Falcon and Chewie makes a noise and Han says, "You think everything sounds like a bad idea." And I like how they're fleshing out this dynamic. Or when they're sitting at one of the gambling tables and Han's tapping his cards and then leans over and shows them to Chewie, and Chewie goes, like it's obviously a bad hand. And you don't necessarily know just yet whether Han and Chewie have a thing that they're working out together. Like, oh, is this some con that they're pulling? Or is this Chewie's just natural reaction and he's not hiding it or anything like that? There's also a bit of a percussive element to these two commercials, both Crew and this other one as well, where you get this really kind of da 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 da, and the sound of it actually happens, whether they're mixing in, Chewie's growl followed immediately in rhythm by Han tapping the cards, followed by Lando whistling, or, the shuffling by an alien in this commercial. That sort of thing is really kind of interesting how they're positioning it. It's definitely different from any other positioning for a Star Wars movie that we've ever seen. We also get a shot of a humanoid droid leaning over what looks like a cylindrical style of gonk droid, if you will, and it looks like there's a more traditional gonk droid off in the background. There has been there was a post for all the new toys coming out on StarWars.com, and one of them included a 2-pack from Funko of fighting droids, and this led me to wonder whether the image that we just saw in the Crew TV spot is of those fighting droids, because a gonk droid is one of those kinds of droids in that Funko 2-pack. So could be, maybe so. And there's also a shot outdoors, and based on the sky we can't really tell where this is happening, but you've got sort of a ring platform and you've got people standing on it with various weapons and one of them firing a projectile. That doesn't seem to have any connection to anything that we've seen so far. Maybe it's something to do with that sort of deserty planet, but I thought we'd been seeing blue skies around there, so I'm really surprised if it would be on that planet, but could be. You know, the atmosphere seemed more like the snow planet that we see in the footage so far, but then again, it doesn't necessarily look like everybody's dressed for snow either, so that one's a little bit up in the air. There is, however, a shot from the snow planet of a huge flying wing going across the sky, and that was really beautiful as well. And there's, complete and utter mystery about that one at this point too. And that right there is the notable stuff that we've got in those other two TV commercials different from the ones that I talked about in yesterday's episode. And that's going to do it for today's podcast, except for over on the audio version at sw7x7.com/iTunes or wherever you like to listen to podcasts. I'm going to be doing a Last Jedi trivia question over there, so do check that out. In the meantime, it just remains for me to say thank you so much for watching, and may the Force be with you wherever in the world you may be.